Welcome back to Behind the Door, where we bring you the most heartwarming and unexpected stories that prove love and destiny work in mysterious ways. Before we dive into this story, comment below and tell us which city you're watching from. And once the story ends, don't forget to rate it from 0 to 10. Enjoy this amazing tale, only on Behind the Door. Let's get started. The autumn rain poured relentlessly on the streets of downtown Seattle as Emma Rodriguez hurried through the crowded marketplace, her worn-out jacket barely protecting her from the cold. At 32 years old, she looked older than her years. The weight of single motherhood and endless struggling had etched lines of worry across her once youthful face. Her 7-year-old daughter, Lily, walked beside her, clutching her mother's hand tightly. Emma worked 2 jobs as a waitress at a diner during the day and cleaned office buildings at night, yet money was always tight. Her ex-husband had disappeared 3 years ago, leaving her with nothing but debt and a beautiful daughter to raise alone. Despite the hardships, Emma never let Lily see her cry. She was determined to give her daughter a better life, even if it meant sacrificing her own happiness. Every day after school, Emma would pick up Lily and walk through the marketplace on their way home. It was a small detour, but Lily loved watching the street vendors. Her favorite stop was always the candy apple cart run by a gentleman named Marcus. He had kind brown eyes that crinkled when he smiled, and he always had a warm greeting for them. Marcus appeared to be in his late 30s, with calloused hands and simple clothes that had seen better days. He wore the same faded jacket every day and pushed his wooden cart through rain or shine. Despite his humble appearance, there was something dignified about him, something that made Emma feel safe whenever they talked. What Emma didn't know was that Marcus had been watching her for months. He had noticed her tired eyes and the way she would count coins carefully before buying Lily even the smallest treat. He saw the love between mother and daughter, and it touched something deep within his heart. One rainy evening, when Emma realized she had forgotten her wallet at work, Lily's face fell with disappointment. She had been looking forward to a candy apple all day. Marcus noticed the exchange and simply smiled. Without hesitation, he handed Lily the biggest, most beautifully crafted candy apple on his cart. When Emma protested, Marcus simply said, "Please, let me. Some days we all need a little sweetness in our lives." From that day forward, their friendship grew. Marcus would save the best candy apples for Lily, and Emma would stop by even on days when she couldn't afford to buy anything, just to talk. Marcus listened to her worries about rent, about Lily's school expenses, about her fears for the future. He never judged, never offered pity, only quiet understanding and encouragement. As weeks turned into months, Emma found herself thinking about Marcus more and more. He was different from any man she had ever known. Despite having so little, he was always generous, always positive, always present. He would tell Lily stories while Emma caught her breath after long shifts. He would make them laugh when times were hardest. One winter evening, as snow began to fall gently on the marketplace, Marcus did something unexpected. He closed his cart early and asked Emma if he could walk them home. Along the way, he stopped at a small playground, now empty and covered in fresh snow. Under the glow of streetlights, he got down on one knee in front of both Emma and Lily. "Emma, I know I'm just a candy apple vendor. I don't have much to offer except these 2 hands and a heart that has come to love you and Lily more than I ever thought possible. Would you give me the honor of becoming your husband and Lily's father?" Emma's eyes filled with tears. Her heart screamed yes, but her practical mind hesitated. How could 2 struggling people possibly make it work? Sensing her uncertainty, Marcus took her hand gently. "I know we don't have much, but together we'll have everything that matters," he said softly. Lily, who had been watching silently, suddenly threw her arms around Marcus. "Say yes, Mommy. Please say yes." With tears streaming down her face, Emma nodded. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes, 1,000 times yes." They married 2 weeks later in a simple courthouse ceremony with Lily as their only witness. Emma wore a simple white dress from a thrift store, and Marcus wore his only suit. They had no honeymoon, no fancy reception, just the three of them sharing a meal at a small diner, their hearts full of hope. Life continued as before. Marcus still pushed his candy apple cart through the streets, and Emma still worked her 2 jobs. But now they had each other. Their tiny apartment felt like a palace because it was filled with love. Marcus would wake up early to make breakfast for Lily before school, and Emma would come home to find him helping with homework. 6 months into their marriage, everything changed. One ordinary Tuesday morning, a black limousine pulled up beside Marcus's candy apple cart. A distinguished elderly gentleman in an expensive suit stepped out, accompanied by 2 lawyers. Emma, who happened to be nearby, watched in confusion. Marcus Alexander Sterling, the elderly man said formally, "Your father has passed away." Emma's heart stopped. Sterling. That name was familiar. The Sterling family was one of the wealthiest families in America, known for their technology empire worth billions. The truth slowly unraveled. Marcus was actually Marcus Alexander Sterling III, the only son of tech mogul Robert Sterling. 10 years ago, after a heated argument with his father about privilege and the meaning of hard work, Marcus had walked away from his fortune. He wanted to understand what real life was like for ordinary people, to prove he could make his own way without his family's money and influence. He had traveled the country, working various jobs, eventually settling in Seattle where he started his candy apple business. He had planned to return home eventually, but then he met Emma and Lily, and for the first time in his life, he understood what true wealth meant. According to his father's will, the lawyer explained, Marcus was now the sole heir to the Sterling fortune. The estate was worth over $3 billion, including companies, properties, and investments around the world. Emma stood frozen, unable to process what she was hearing. The man she had married, the humble candy apple vendor who had won her heart with his kindness and genuine love, was a billionaire. That evening, in their tiny apartment, Emma finally confronted Marcus. "Why didn't you tell me?" she asked, her voice shaking. Marcus took her hands in his. "Because I wanted you to love me for who I am, not what I have. When I met you, I saw the most beautiful, hardworking, loving woman I had ever known. I saw a mother who would sacrifice everything for her child. I saw someone who valued character over wealth. If I had told you the truth, would you have given me a chance?" Emma realized he was right. She probably would have run away, assuming he was playing some cruel game with her life. "I love you, Emma." Not Emma the struggling single mother, but Emma the strong, kind, incredible woman who taught me what really matters in life. "The money changes nothing about how I feel about you and Lily." Through tears, Emma embraced him. "I love you too, Marcus. With or without the billions." The transition to their new life wasn't easy. They moved from their tiny apartment to the Sterling mansion, but Marcus insisted on keeping his candy apple cart. Every weekend, he would return to the marketplace, not to sell but to give away free candy apples to children whose families struggled as Emma once had. Emma started a foundation to help single mothers get education and job training. Lily adjusted surprisingly well, though she made her parents promise she could still attend her same school with her friends. 5 years later, standing on the balcony of their home, watching Lily play in the garden, Emma reflected on the incredible journey. She had married a candy apple vendor and discovered he was a billionaire, but more importantly, she had married a man with a genuine heart who had shown her that true wealth isn't measured in money but in love, integrity, and the courage to be yourself. Marcus came up behind her, wrapping his arms around her waist. "Any regrets?" he whispered. She smiled, leaning back against him. "Only that I didn't say yes sooner." And so, the poor single mother who married a candy apple vendor found not just financial security, but something far more precious. She found a partner who chose love over luxury, who valued character over status, and who proved that sometimes the greatest treasures come disguised in the humblest packages. Thank you so much for watching this incredible story on Behind the Door. Now it's your turn. Rate this story from 0 to 10 in the comments below and tell us what you loved most about Emma and Marcus's journey. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss another amazing story. Until next time, remember that true love sees beyond appearances and straight into the heart. See you in the next video.